Okay, good morning, good morning. It's Christmas Eve here in Boston, Massachusetts, and thank you all for being here to share this day with me, December 24th. I'm going to take a quick look at my laptop and see if the audio and video are working fine. I want to see what you see, I want to hear what you hear. Okay, it's checking out all right. You can give me a thumbs up or let me know that you can hear me and see me well. I've already said hello in the chat, but let me greet the early birds. Toto was here, Cricket Highlights, Rajwinder Singh. They all showed up early. Thank you, thank you. And then we're joined by Espirio and Fernando. Thank you guys for joining me. Jagath, hello there. And more people are coming in. So Hojika, I want to say your name correctly. Hojiak Bakar? No, Hojiak Bar. Did I get it closer? I'm closer with the pronunciation, but I do see you and welcome. Bulant Gulkan? Oh goodness, I'm not 50 yet. Approaching, but not there yet. Yes, I've been in Russia. Not for a long time, but I was there. Lamond is here. Hello to you there in Algeria. Ayo, thank you so much. I'm glad you're here with me today. Hassan Ali, hello there. Thank you for coming. And Ara just joined us. Rahman. And who is that? Abos? I'm reading your name. Abos, I see you there. Hal? Omar, good morning to you. Things are looking good on my end. Vicky, hello to you. Danish and Labiba. Hi there. Hi, Marlies. Good to have you here. Thank you guys for joining me. Hey, Andrea. Good to have you here. Andrea's here, and Anton just joined us. Hello there. An angel from Sky. Hey there. Yulia came. Thank you guys for being here. Hi, Annie Roy. From El Salvador, Omar, I'm glad that you're here. And from India, Vanshika is here. Taki, hello to you. I see the request for fluent English. Well, just stick around. I have lots of playlists to help you. I do believe in targeting all skills, right? Listening, speaking, reading, writing. Grammar is still important, but I work it in with vocabulary, pronunciation. They're all connected. So if you want to have the confidence and fluency in English, then you try to give attention to all the skills. They're all connected. And you want to feel comfortable speaking and listening, reading, and writing. So take a look at my playlists. If you don't know, you go to my homepage and you can search for a topic. You can also click on playlists and make sure you get to the created playlists because there are a lot. You can also go to my website, English with Jennifer, and there are links that will get you to my how I've organized the YouTube videos and playlists. So you go to englishwithjennifer.com and then check out YouTube videos, and they're all organized according to playlists. So take some time to get familiar with how I've organized my videos and give attention to all the different skills. When you watch a video and have a question, you can post a short language question in the comments. I try hard to respond to comments daily, okay? And if you're truly looking for practice beyond my videos, please consider becoming a YouTube member. If you see the join button, you want to click and become a member so you can get practice 2 times a week on the community tab. And then beyond that, if you really want interaction, live interaction, that happens through Patreon memberships. I invite high, intermediate, and advanced students to join me on Patreon, English with Jennifer. And we have live lessons both through Zoom, and we have exclusive live streams. There are plenty of tasks that give you practice throughout each month. And the members on Patreon vote each month for a specific topic or theme. This month we chose holiday songs and stories. So this live stream today, although it's public, connects to that theme on Patreon. We read a couple short stories as a group on Patreon. The story that I'm sharing with you today is one that I wrote, and I hope you enjoy. And it's a short story. Suitable for the holidays. Okay. Angel, thank you so much. Wow, thank you for your support. I appreciate that, Angel from Sky. Thank you so much. A nice Christmas present. Jagath, I'm so sorry you had problems renewing. Just give it some time and try again, please. Okay. I'm not sure what's up with payments through Google. Just give it a shot. Vethi, hello. Glad we have viewers from India. Merry Christmas to you, Benjamin. And Nelsa is here from Papua New Guinea. Santosh, hello. Vanshika, it is 10:07. It's 7 past 10 o'clock in the morning here in Massachusetts. Right? Annie Roy, I'm doing just fine. Valentina is here. Merry Christmas to you. MY, or is it my? I don't know, but MY, thank you for your good wishes. Raji, glad you're here too. Surprise, you love questions, don't you? What pet did you first have, and do you like birthday parties? I sure liked birthday parties as a little girl, but as I get older, I don't like to be reminded how old I am. So as long as we have a party and we don't talk about my age, yes, I like birthday parties. And pets, gosh, I do like pets, but I can't say we had dogs and cats growing up, but I didn't take like full responsibility for them growing up. Right now I do. We have a dog that you've probably seen in some of the videos. We have a black lab right now, a black Labrador. She's very friendly, and she's 6 years old right now. Urina from the Dominican Republic is here. Hello. Lamond, well, I'm glad that you're learning English. You'll take some time, and I have tips on my website, English with Jennifer, to give you some ideas of what you can do to practice even by yourself. There are plenty of ways. Okay, try my oral reading fluency series. Check out my conversation playlist. I also have short clips on Instagram too that target listening and speaking. Omar, thank you very much. Merry Christmas. Feliz Navidad to you. SK, is it Dwivedi? Hello to you. Manuel, thank you for being here. Good to see a member here from Tenerife. 24 degrees. Well, yeah, remember, here in the US, we use Fahrenheit, and it's a little chilly today. Hopefully, we might get some snow flurries just in time for Christmas. And when you live in the north, the northeast, you definitely want to see snow around Christmas. That's one of the things we look forward to, actually. All right. From Syria, hello to you there. How to improve your immune system. Oh, I need to get on that program too. We all need to sleep well, make sure we get enough sleep, rest, eat well, keep our strength. And right now, and of course, hopefully I'll have another opportunity to wish you all very good health now and in the new year. That's first and foremost, right? I wish you all good health now and in the new year, and hopefully we'll all be strong enough to continue our studies together. Okay, let me take a sip of tea. No, I don't know Spanish very well, but Feliz Navidad, most Americans know that thanks to the popular song. Joseph, hello. From Sudan, thank you for the love. Sending it back to you, Mubarak. Building confidence, read aloud. That certainly helps. Reading aloud helps build confidence. That's one of my recommendations. Oh, I wish I could say Italian is such a beautiful language, Andrea. How do you say that? Buon Natale? Am I close? Joseph, I only speak English very, very well. I could also speak Pig Latin and gibberish quite well. I did learn Russian, so I can carry on a conversation in Russian. I do need more practice. I feel like if I don't get more practice, I'll lose more of my Russian, which I don't want to do. I studied French in high school. I studied a little bit of Japanese in college, just a little that I remember. I got a taste of Portuguese at one point just to understand understand how the language works. But there's so many beautiful languages out there that I would love to learn. But really, my confidence is in English and then Russian. But Russian, I definitely need some more practice. Okay. All right, guys. What kind of tea? Oh, this is my favorite tea for teaching and live streams. It's called Throat Coat. It coats your throat. Hopefully, it'll coat my throat as I begin to read for you. Manuel, there's nothing but tea. I'm not adding any alcohol to my tea. I don't do that. Okay. All right, Jessica, hello and Merry Christmas to you. No, I'm not going to party that hard. I'm going to sleep tomorrow morning and I'm going to relax and hopefully I'll find time to play the piano and we'll just have a peaceful family Christmas. That's what I'm looking forward to. Okay. All right, guys. A couple of days ago, I got inspired and I decided to write a short story. It's a few pages long, about 4 pages. And, if I had more time, I'd revise it. So we'll see. As I read it today, I might be tempted to still create a few changes here and there. Whenever you write, whether it's an email, a story, a report, you always want to make time for revision. I did a little bit of revising yesterday. If I were to publish this in a bigger way, I would probably revise even more. So we'll see if I catch anything today as I read aloud. It's a story I was thinking of. It's been influenced by stories that I've heard now in the time of the pandemic. Life has changed and somewhat returned back to normal, but not quite for everybody. 2020 was an especially different and difficult year for many families around the world. And I was thinking about, the spirit of the holiday season. Why we're so generally happy in December is because we have these December holidays. And it's sometimes we lose sight of the true meaning of these holidays because there's such a big commercial aspect, right? Things that you can buy in stores. And maybe, just maybe, it's not always about what the stores are selling. It's more about what we can give to each other. And so that was the thought that I had as I began to write the story. Okay? The vocabulary may be challenging. I decided not to simplify it too much. So the vocabulary is at a rather high level. I will do my best to explain as we go along. I'll check comments periodically to see if you have questions. And perhaps as we go along, I'll also pause and ask some questions to make sure you're following and that you understand basically what's going on in this story. Okay? And as usual, I like to follow up for members to give them a little bit more practice when I do a live stream. So I'll probably follow up with some short, maybe comprehension task for my YouTube members on the community tab, and I'll probably come up with a vocabulary task to review keywords for my Patreon members. So again, consider memberships on YouTube by clicking the join button and visit me on Patreon, English with Jennifer, to check out the many different perks that I offer there. But my gift to everyone today is this story. It's an original story that I wrote for you. Okay? All right. So, Princess, you're glad here. Funniest man, what a lovely. I like your username. Thank you. Malicio Andrade, is it Andrade? From Brazil, glad that you're here. And perhaps towards the end, I'll address more questions and requests as time allows, okay? Princesses, good to see you here. Rahman, Manuel. Why were you afraid? I certainly hope not. Manuel, I do my best not to make anything scary, unless I'm writing a Halloween story. Hello, Hong. I see you there. Okay, Sanjay, you need to sleep now. Good night, good night. Merry Christmas. Okay. All right. I see the questions coming in. Hold on to those questions, the general language questions, and we'll try to make time for that towards the end, okay? Joseph, I see you here. Okay. Thank you, Manuel. Thanks for being here, okay? All right, guys, let's switch over to sharing my screen. Hopefully you'll see the document, the Word document that I've opened. Let's take a look. Azer is here. Merry Christmas. No, I've never been to Azerbaijan. I've seen pictures, I've seen videos, but I've never been there. Juan, hello to you from Kurdistan. I see you, princesses. Okay, let me go down just a little bit for you. Well, every story has a name, a title, and I've decided to give this story a title called A Different Kind of Christmas. All right, A Different Kind of Christmas. Let's read just a little bit and then I'll ask some questions to make sure you're following along. I hope the text is big enough. I think I can go just a little bit bigger for you. Abos, as long as you're here on YouTube watching me, you are one of my students, one of my online students. Ahmed, nice to have you here from Somalia. Okay, looks good on my laptop. I think it's big enough for you to read, yes? Princess, I'm originally from Pennsylvania, but I'm coming to you live right now from Massachusetts. That's in the northeast of the US. Okay? All right, guys. A Different Kind of Christmas. When Ben was little, he wrote a letter to Santa Claus every year on December 1st. He had been taught to be polite when penning his letter to the North Pole. So he started with, "Dear Santa," and proceeded to ask how Santa and Mrs. Claus were doing before launching into his wish list. Sometimes Ben would write a few drafts, depending on how many times his priorities changed. One year, Ben couldn't decide what to put at the top of his list. A new video game and new hockey skates seemed equally important. In the end, he went with the skates, and he was very pleased that Santa understood his greatest wish that year. Brand new skates appeared under the tree on Christmas morning. As the years went by, Ben stopped mailing a Christmas list to Santa. Instead, he kept a wish list online and updated it throughout the year. Since Santa is the kind of guy who's in the know, the most desired gifts unfailingly ended up under the Christmas tree, and not just for Ben, but for the whole family. In fact, Ben had assumed that Christmas morning always brought presents for everyone. Then all that changed one year. Much that had been taken for granted soon became very precious. All right. So you get a sense of Ben, that he's no longer little, right? And as a kid, he used to write a letter. What's another way to say write? Write a letter, write a story, write a thank you note. We all write with our computers and phones today, but in the past we always had pens and pencils. So pen can actually be used as a verb when penning his letter, when writing his letter. Can you guess this meaning? Maybe you know the word launch, like launch a rocket. But he first would ask Santa and Mrs. Claus, "How are you doing? I hope you're well," just to be polite, before launching into his wish list. What does it mean to launch into something? Can you guess? Launching into. Well, when a rocket launches, it's starting its travel, its trip, right? Its journey. So when you launch, you start something. So The whole purpose of a letter to Santa is to write what you want. That's what a lot of American children are taught to do, that you write a Christmas list to Santa. Dear Santa, I've been a very good boy or very good girl, and for Christmas I would like da 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 da. And they start listing the different things that they would like for Christmas. And Ben, of course, took the time to be a little polite with Dear Santa, ask how they were doing, and then start his wish list, launch into his list. Drafts, right? When you know that you're going to write different versions, multiple versions, until you get to the final one, that means all the previous versions are drafts, right? It's nice to know this expression was when something is completely new, you can call it brand new. I have a video in my vocabulary playlist on words and expressions for new. How do we talk about new things? Brand new. They bought a brand new car. Ben got brand new skates. Okay? Santa himself is a symbol of the North Pole. But as the years went by, he stopped mailing a list. Why? Because most lists today are online, right? When you change it and you keep changing it so that it reflects your latest wishes, your most recent wants, then you're updating it. And when something happens unfailingly, right? Look inside. What do you see? Fail. If you fail to do something, then you don't do it. But un means not, unfailingly, unfailingly. So unfailingly means it just always happened. The most desired gifts always ended up under the Christmas tree in his family. They unfailingly ended up. So up until this point, a lot of things had been taken for granted. That's a good expression, taken for granted. Perhaps some of you know that. You can explain in the comments how you understand when you take things for granted. So Ben had a pretty good childhood, pretty steady, reliable family life in his house. They always had Christmas. They always had gifts under the tree. But much had been taken for granted. Yes, brand new sneakers, like Manuel, right? Brand new shoes. If you just don't fully appreciate things because they're always there, then you're taking them for granted. You can take people or things for granted, meaning you just assume that's the way it is. That's the way it's always going to be. And then we fail to appreciate what we really do have until it's taken away. So if you take something for granted, you're not fully aware or appreciative of what you have. Much that had been taken for granted soon became very precious. So here comes the change in Ben's life. Hey, Ray. When the COVID pandemic hit, life changed for Ben's family. He and his younger sister spent more time at home because their school closed and classes were held online. At first, it was kind of fun for Ben to attend school in pajamas while camping out in his bedroom with his iPad. But the routine soon became old. Ben missed sitting in different classrooms, walking through the hallway with his backpack, saying hi to teachers, talking with friends between classes, catching up more at lunchtime, and riding the bus home. Sarah was only 2 years younger, but talking to her wasn't the same as talking to classmates. His parents were home a lot more too, especially when the cafe they ran had to shut down. For months, all 4 of them were home together day after day. His father was not one to complain about a bad situation, and his mother was forever looking on the bright side. She'd say positive things like, "It's a nice change to have lunch together during the week," or, "Isn't it great not to rush out the door hoping you won't miss the school bus?" Okay. Yes, Manuel, good. So before, things had been taken for granted. He just thought, things are always going to be that way. They're surely to happen. Why would he write on December 1st? Because Christmas is on December 25th, and children know that they need to send their letter to Santa in time for Santa to prepare the gifts for Christmas Eve. So the tradition has been to send a letter to Santa so that Santa gets the wish list, prepares the gifts, and delivers the gifts on Christmas Eve, so that on the 25th, Christmas Day, children wake up and find presents under the tree. But things changed in Ben's family because of COVID, right? The schools closed, classes were online. And how did Ben feel about that? Mixed feelings a little bit, right? How did Ben feel about all those changes? He took school for granted. He took seeing his friends for granted. And there was a change for his parents too. Hey, Jessica. That's okay. Good night, Jessica. You can catch up tomorrow. So why were his parents home more too? COVID hit everybody in some way, right? They had a business, a family business. And what happened to their business? Phrasal verb. When something shuts down, it closes. So as you know, the restaurant industry, the food industry, the service industry was hit hard. They were impacted by the pandemic. A lot of small businesses suffered, especially in 2020. It was rough for a lot of families. Imagine if your main source of income was taken away from you. Things became difficult. For some families, it became very hard. I see your comment, Ray. But there's something interesting about his parents. It was not an ideal situation. They had to close their cafe down, but his father was not one to complain, and the mother looked on the bright side. A nice expression. When you look on the bright side, you're very positive. You're optimistic. We can say that in conversation. Well, look on the bright side. See it positively. Yes. Okay. Yet at 15, Ben was old enough to read the concern in his parents' eyes. They weren't poor, but they also weren't rich. Their cafe was a popular spot in town, and his parents ran it with great pride and pleasure. It had been their dream, and they worked hard to make it successful enough to buy a small 3-bedroom home. Because the cafe had been hit by the pandemic, the family's livelihood was in jeopardy. Even Sarah picked up on the possible fate their parents faced. This might be new for some of you, but you can guess. If something is in jeopardy, is that good or bad? Some hints. There's concern in their eyes. Not rich. Cafe was hit. So their livelihood was in jeopardy. Livelihood. Thank you for subscribing, Rajwinder. And Manuel, thank you for typing definitions, explanations. It's helpful for everyone. Livelihood. Your livelihood is how you make money to live. Everyone needs a livelihood. And if your livelihood is in jeopardy, then the means to make enough money to support yourself is at risk. It's in danger. So if something is in jeopardy, it's threatened. It's at risk. That's not good. Right? When the adults were out of earshot, she, meaning Sarah, asked, "If Mom and Dad can't run the cafe, how will they pay for things? And if they can't pay for things, will we have to sell the house and move?" Ben felt it was his job as the big brother to reassure her. "They have some savings. We'll be okay for a while." "For how long?" Sarah pressed. "They'll make things work. We all will. The cafe won't be closed forever, but we can't spend too much while money is tight. We just won't buy anything we don't need. We can do stuff to help, like not run up the electric bill, and you can stop taking such long showers." I like my long showers, protested his sister. Yeah, and you like up using all the hot water, which Mom and Dad pay for, by the way, said Ben. Oh, Sarah replied quietly. I didn't think about that. Okay, I'll be quicker in the shower. Okay. Reassure, when you reassure somebody, perhaps you see this word that you know. Sure is certain. So when you want to calm somebody, ease their fears, tell them that you're sure everything will be okay. You reassure them. So the big brother was reassuring the sister. We'll be okay. But Sarah's concerned. She's pressing. But she's still concerned. She's pushing to get answers. Right? Ben and Sarah followed their parents' example, and they didn't complain about seeing fewer of their luxuries as the weeks went on. Their pantry looked a little leaner, and at one point their parents announced that they were going to move fully into the 21st century by giving up cable TV. We have the internet, their father reasoned. You kids have your iPads, and Mom and I have our phones. We can still watch movies, but we don't need 100 TV channels, do we? Of course not, their mother agreed cheerfully, though Ben knew his mother liked to record her favorite programs on the DVR and watch them when she could. We could all do with less screen time. But Ben didn't need them to explain. His parents were clearly cutting expenses due to their reduced household income. He wished he could help, but looking for a part-time job at the age of 15 during a pandemic wasn't the best timing. Thank you. Good expression, Manuel. I'm glad you highlighted that. Right? While money is tight, you don't have much, people are tightly holding on to the money that they have because they don't have much of it. So when money is tight, you have to be very careful with your spending. So one of the changes that we saw happened in their pantry. I know some of you from Patreon know this word, pantry. What do you find in the pantry? Marco Polo, Valencia, hello there. Pantry. Who knows what's found in a pantry? What is stored or kept in a pantry? Hey, Eddie. Glad you're here. Well, they didn't complain about seeing fewer of their luxuries as the weeks went on. Their pantry looked leaner. Pantry, is where you store your food. Right? So maybe at one point their pantry was always full of snacks and all kinds of things, but the pantry looked a little lean, meaning thin, not thick, empty, not full. So they had less food. They weren't buying things that they didn't need. They were only buying what they absolutely needed to eat. So they were having fewer luxuries in terms of food. And then they had the idea of, let's cut the cable bill. You don't need all the TV channels. Let's get rid of it and just use our devices. We have the internet. SK Duarte, I don't know your question. Is it how do you address Santa? You can say Santa or Santa Claus. Okay. So they're trying to cut expenses. Ben understood. Okay. Then the December holiday season rolled around, and it was obvious that no one would be doing any big shopping trips. Ben's mom had a creative streak, and she proposed that they all make gifts for each other for Christmas. No one needs to buy anything. Only give gifts that you can make yourself, okay? Urgh, Ben grumbled. That sounds like an art project or something. I'm not exactly the arts and crafts kind of guy, as you'll recall. So get creative in another way, Ben's father suggested. That's what I'm going to do. You know me, I can't even draw a stick figure that looks human. Yeah, I know, Ben laughed. You passed your art genes on to me. Let's pause there for a second. Okay, money is tight. Things are lean. They can't spend too much. So although normally people, especially here in the U.S., we do spend more in December, we spend on the holidays, but they're not going to take any big shopping trips in this family this year. Okay, living hand to mouth, yes, that's like really desperate. They're not quite desperate yet, but they have to be careful because money is tight. So Ben's mom has an idea. If normally you buy gifts for friends and family, what is her suggestion? What did she propose? When you propose something, you suggest an idea. You offer an idea for consideration. She proposed that. She suggested that. Do you see her suggestion? She suggests, hey, let's make gifts for each other, you know. And why does she have this idea? She had a creative streak. This is a word that we use, and we can describe it many different ways using different adjectives to talk about what our nature is like, what kinds of talents we have. So if she has a creative streak, it means there's a part of her that's very creative. She likes to create things. Maybe she's an imaginative, maybe she's a bit of an artist. She has a creative streak, right? How does Ben react? Arg. That's not a pleasant sound. Arg, like it's grumbling. It's not a sound of pleasure. It's like, it's not a good reaction. It's a bit of a complaining sound because you're not happy. If she has a creative streak, Ben does not, right? I'm not exactly the arts and crafts kind of guy. All right, well, you can do this with all kinds of descriptions. I'm not exactly a science kind of person. I'm not exactly an arts guy, or like, what kind of guy? I'm not exactly a sports kind of guy, meaning you're not into sports. Well, Ben is saying I'm not exactly the arts and crafts kind of guy, so why are you asking me to make something? But Ben's father says get creative in another way because he himself can't even draw a stick figure that is human, right? If you're not a great artist, you should at least be able to draw a stick figure, like circle, like that's the body, arms, feet, eyes, and face. That's a typical stick figure. Can you see it? I can go closer. A stick figure. So he's complaining, so I can't even draw a stick figure. And Ben laughs and says, yeah, I know, because he's just like his father, right? He gets his father's genes, his father's DNA. So just like his father, he's not very good at art. Okay. Can it be something I do rather than something I make? Asked Sarah. Sure, honey, said their mother, glad that the family was warming up to the idea. Whatever you think will make Christmas special for the other person. They all agreed not to spend any money on gifts, but Ben wondered what he'd be able to come up with. School was remote, but he still had enough schoolwork to keep him busy. He put off Christmas preparations as long as he could. With only a few days before Christmas, he forced himself to squeeze out every ounce of creativity to make gifts for his family. Christmas morning came. At first, Ben woke up and felt the usual magic of the holiday. Then reality set in, and he wondered what Christmas would be like this year. He almost didn't want to get out of bed and find empty stockings and only the bare floor under the tree. Okay. All right, so the mother had an idea. Hey, we can't buy gifts, let's make gifts. And luckily, the family received the idea positively for the most part. It took some convincing, but then they gradually came to like the idea. So if you warm up to something, warm up to an idea, warm up to a person, warm up perhaps to a new manager or boss or a new colleague, it takes time. Maybe immediately you don't love it, but when you warm up to something, you gradually begin to like it and accept it. Warm up to something. Okay, Ben is not creative like his dad, so he's wondering what he can come up with. Remember that phrasal verb? If you come up with something, you're producing, you're imagining something, you're making something. What can you produce? So he tried to come up with something, but he waited a while. He put off Christmas preparations as long as he could. When you put something off, what does that mean? Add to that, Manuel. Start liking the idea. Karakuram times. Hello. Juan Felix, glad that you're finding this interesting. I'm not always highlighting the grammar, but reading is a wonderful way to see grammar in use. Okay. To put off is to delay. So if he had that creative streak like his mother, he'd be like, oh, I have great ideas. I'm going to get started on the gifts right away. But when you're not really good at something, you need some time. And he's like, I have to make something. I'll do it tomorrow, maybe the next day. So he keeps procrastinating. He's putting it off. He's delaying. So what did he do? He forced himself to squeeze out every ounce of creativity. So it's just a dramatic way to explain that it was really intense for him to be creative because he's not usually a creative, artsy kind of guy. But he did come up with an idea. And it's hard this Christmas, if he took things for granted before, he's not taking those things for granted now. He knows this is a different Christmas, and maybe it's a Christmas that doesn't have all the usual things like presents in the stockings, presents under the tree. It's going to be different, and he's not sure. How will it be? Will he like it? It's kind of sad. But Ben was in for a surprise when he opened his bedroom door. His parents had gotten up early. They were putting their excellent cooking and baking skills to use. The kitchen was already full of delicious smells when Ben walked in. Sarah soon followed, likely awakened by the smell of her favorite cinnamon rolls. The first present? A delicious Christmas breakfast for the whole family. Another surprise caught Sarah's eye. Hey, there's something in my stocking. Can I check? Go ahead, the mother laughed. Ben followed, and they reached into their stockings to find candy canes made out of construction paper. It was obviously their mother's handiwork. She had placed a few candy canes in each stocking and took the time to write some of her favorite memories on each one. Okay? You might hear my dog in the background. She hears the dogs across the street and she's barking. She wants to be part of the live stream. Come up with. I address that phrasal verb means to produce, to make. Okay? Marco Polo, I'm trying to look. Sometimes I can't see all the questions. Good, good. Marco, I will take general language questions towards the end of the live stream. What you're doing right now is wonderful practice. We're reading. We're learning new words and expressions. You're hearing my pronunciation as a model. Towards the end, we'll have a full recording. You can come back and listen to the entire story again. Okay? Procrastinating, delaying. Good, Manuel. Okay? So what's going on? The first present came. It was breakfast. The mother, who is creative, got construction paper. That thick colored paper that you can use for art projects. Red, green, yellow, brown, all different colors. Here in the US, probably in other stores too around the world, the construction paper is sold in these packets. And you open up the packet and you get thick colored paper, different colors. And you can cut the paper for different projects. So she used red and white and she made candy canes. Normally we buy candy canes and you might put them on the Christmas tree or stick them in the stockings as a gift, but she made these. Again, she couldn't buy anything, so she made candy canes. And she took the time to write some of her favorite memories on each one. Remember our trip to Cape Cod? You ordered a large ice cream cone, and I predicted you wouldn't be able to eat it all, but you did. Ben read his mother's neat handwriting and smiled. Yeah, I remember the ice cream. It was the best ever. Sarah and the father read their memories out loud as well. Each one made them all smile bigger and bigger. Okay, that was the mother's gift. Sarah announced that she was ready to give her gifts too. She ran back to her room and returned with her flute. She played 2 Christmas songs, and Ben was charitable enough not to comment on the mistakes he heard. Their parents clapped loudly. Then Sarah surprised Ben by playing the theme song to Star Wars. She knew he was a big fan of all the movies. Ben couldn't believe she'd taken the time to learn all the notes. When did she practice? He hadn't heard her. When she finished, he clapped with genuine appreciation. Why only a stocking and a tree? Because those are the 2 main things that we have in homes. If people celebrate Christmas, you're most likely to find the tree and stockings, maybe a few other decorations. So the stockings are hung on a fireplace or somewhere around the house where gifts, small gifts, can be placed inside. And the tree is normally where we put larger gifts. We put it under the tree. And the mother's other gift to each person were just some memories. She wrote memories on paper and put those memories inside the stockings. A memory about a trip they took, ice cream they ate, and that was her gift. And Sarah played the flute, right? Now, as big brothers tend to be, that they might not always appreciate or show appreciation and respect to younger sisters, but he was charitable enough not to comment. Charitable, charity, you may know that word, so you can guess. He was charitable enough not to comment on the mistakes he heard. How would you describe his behavior as the big brother? Sarah's playing the flute. Ben hears mistakes. He chooses not to comment. Why? How is he behaving? What does it mean to be charitable? Charitable. Cinnamon is a flavor. Cinnamon rolls. It's a spice. A brown spice. It's wonderful with apples, for example. This video, Marco Polo, is being recorded, so as soon as I end the live stream, it will become a recording that you can watch again. If you want to translate words into Arabic, Zig Ziglar, you can. I'm sure there are other Arabic speakers here who would appreciate that. You're welcome to. Okay. Charitable, charity. When you show charity, you're showing kindness. You're being generous. So he was generous and kind, and he knew the kind thing to do was not to comment on mistakes. The parents, of course, they're clapping loudly. But then when he heard the song that Sarah had prepared for him, he clapped with genuine appreciation. Was he faking it? Was it real? No, it was real. He wasn't faking it, right? He really thought, wow, she did that. That's good. She did that. She prepared the whole song. She learned it from me. So he genuinely appreciated what she had done for him. She learned a song that she knew he would like. Generous, good. Charitable, polite with mistakes. Yes, yes. Polite, kind, generous. Okay. So their father has gifts too, and you can see bundles. You can make a prediction of what the father is going to give to everyone. Next, their father handed out small bundles to everyone. Each bundle was wrapped in a dish towel. So that's where my holiday towels went, their mother exclaimed. Yeah, sorry, he laughed. I needed something colorful and big enough to wrap my gifts. Their mother unwrapped her bundle first. Oh, you fixed my favorite mug. Thank you. She kissed him to show her pleasure at seeing the handle seamlessly glued back onto the mug. Oh, Ray, thank you. That's so sweet of you. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for the Christmas present. That's such a cute sticker, too. Okay. So the mother unwrapped her gift, and the dad fixed the mug. Maybe the mug had broken, and he was able to fix it for her, because that was her favorite mug. Daddy, Sarah exclaimed, you fixed my chain. She put on the necklace that had had a broken clasp. Now it was as good as new. As good as new, a nice expression, right? It's not new, but it looks new again. Maybe you cleaned it, maybe you fixed it. So her chain had broken, the clasp, the part that latches on and fastens. So the father was able to fix it. So maybe he doesn't have a creative streak, but he's handy. He fixed the mug, he fixed the clasp, and it had had a broken clasp. It was broken before, and now it's not. Past perfect. Your turn, Ben's father said to him. Ben unwrapped his bundle and was shocked to see his grandfather's watch. Dad, but Grandpa gave it to you. Yeah, his father said, and now it's time for me to pass it on. I know you have your cell phone to check out the time, but this is a lot more special. Thanks, Ben said sincerely. He quietly fastened the watch to his wrist. It felt good to wear. What do you think about the gifts so far? Ben hasn't given his gifts yet, but what do you think about the family gifts so far? Kenan, I'm doing well. Thank you for being here. Ray, I'm still getting a kick out of the motion sticker. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Stunning Lad 1. I appreciate the support in all ways, especially that way. Thank you. Okay, Ben said, my turn. He went to his room and came back with his own gifts. He gave each family member paper booklets. His father got handwritten coupons with promises to shovel the snow and mow the grass without complaint. His mother got similar coupons that stated his various promises to help more around the house. Ben's mom read the first one aloud. This coupon entitles the holder to one family dinner. I will make dinner, maybe frozen pizza, and I'll take care of everything from setting the table to cleaning up. She looked up and smiled with pleasure. That's great, Ben. A night off from cooking. I'll use this one first. She happily read through the rest of her coupons. Do I get coupons too? Asked Sarah. Something different. Look. Right? Coupons you often use in stores, right, for a discount to pay less money, right? But in this case, he's going to give favors, do favors for his parents, help more outside and inside around the house, right? And not complain. Just be more helpful. Okay. What about his sister? Sarah opened her booklet and found a mix of jokes and puzzles. On one page had a maze that said, "Help Sarah find her charger." Sarah was forever misplacing her charger, so she laughed. "Oh, I can find the charger in this maze. It's just a problem when the charger is somewhere in my room." She quickly got a pencil and began to do the maze with glee. "Thanks, Ben," she said when she finished the game. She turned to the next page for more entertainment. And so, the morning was different from all other Christmases. But somehow, Ben predicted that he'd always remember this one as one of his favorites. Okay? This is important to understand. When you misplace something, that's a good way to explain you don't know where it is. You put it somewhere. You placed it somewhere, but you can't remember, right? We all do this with our keys, with our cell phone, with a charger. Like, where is it? I don't know. So she was forever misplacing. Look at the grammar. When it's a habitual habit, you can use the progressive. If it's a present habit, use the present progressive. If it was a past habit, you can use the past progressive. You can emphasize it, the habitual nature, how repetitive it was, by using words like always or forever. She was forever misplacing her charger. And by the way, if you want to review verb forms and verb tenses, I do have a whole playlist on verb tenses, and I do address using the past progressive for habitual actions. Okay. A maze. What is a maze? Does everyone understand what a maze is? I don't know if I have time to do a quick maze, but let's say, let's go like this. I'm doing a quick maze right here on the spot. Okay, so let's say there's a circle or a square and it says start, and then like inside is going to be the goal. That's where the charger is. And Ben wrote for his sister, maybe this is little Sarah. You can draw a stick figure. There's Sarah, my little stick figure. Help Sarah find the charger. And so the maze is going to look something like, you know, this is like a bad maze, but pretty good for a 2-second maze. And so you have to take a pencil and find the way into the center to help the stick figure Sarah find her charger. Does that make sense? A maze. Do you like doing mazes? I used to love them. The really big, complicated ones. Yeah, when I was younger and had time for things like that. But I used to, when I did babysitting, I used to make mazes, things like that for kids. I think that's kind of fun to do. Labyrinth, yes, yes. Habitual. I'm not swearing. Habitual. Let's write that. That's important. Don't be silly. Habitual. Habit, habitual. Always, thank you, Manuel. Very helpful comments. Okay. All right, so actually, let's do this. And go back to only my webcam. Can you see what I see? Someone's asking how to find a conversation partner. I used to be active on Hollow. I still recommend the platform. I'm not there, I'm not active, but it's a nice place to find conversation partners. There's practice every day. It's a nice community. So I think that's one of many possibilities where you can find other people to speak with. Not necessarily native speakers, but it doesn't have to be a native speaker. You just need somebody with the interest and desire and similar proficiency or a little higher to practice with, right? Okay. Kenan, I hope I answered your question. Okay, so we're winding down. Let me do, just maybe I'll ask two questions and then of my own, and then you can ask some questions before we wind down. My first question is, why was this Christmas different for Ben? Why was this Christmas different? How would you give a one-sentence answer? I want you to think about that, and I'll look in the comments for answers. So my first question is, how was this Christmas different for Ben? Princess, glad to have you here. How was this Christmas different for Ben? And a second question is for just for thought. And those of you on Patreon who read The Gift of the Magi with me this past week, it's a similar question now. What's better, a store-bought gift or a gift that someone makes for you? You can tell me your opinion. One, show me how well you understood the story and answer the question, how was this Christmas different for Ben? If you're watching the recording, you can always write your one-sentence answer in the comments. Okay? And just to share your opinion, what's better, a store-bought gift or a gift that someone makes for you? What's your opinion? Okay? Oh, yes, it's 10:59 here, but AM, and it's 10:59 for you because we're on opposite sides, right? Different hemispheres. There was not as much money. Yes, things were tight, you could say. Oh, you can't see the text? Well, one of the things I'll probably do, I'll share on Patreon. Maybe I'll share the full copy on Patreon. That's one of the perks I'll give you guys. On Patreon, I can upload documents. So for Patreon members, super members and higher, I will share the copy of this story. Okay, so if you want a copy of this story, this original story, then I'm going to upload it on Patreon. I'll share it there. Okay, that'll be my Christmas gift to you guys on Patreon. Okay, because of the pandemic, I would say, Jasun, it was because of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. Stunning Lad 1, a gift someone makes is better. Larissa, in my opinion, the handmade gift is better. Manuel, we can live as penniless because there will always be an opportunity later. How about we can live penniless? I would take out as. We can live penniless, but there will always be an opportunity later, right? How often do I write short stories? Not that often, but when I feel inspired, I write. I like writing. Every so often I get inspired and I'll write a story. Okay. Chris, oh, by the way, if you like writings, it's not so much fiction all the time, but the oral reading fluency playlist, that's all original. Oral reading fluency playlist. Those are short texts. They're not all fiction. Some of them are just some of my thoughts, like mini essays, if you will. But all of those texts are mine. So I hope those of you who have gone through the series, some of you have written to me. So thank you for expressing appreciation. But if you've watched it, liked it, happy, thank you. If you're not familiar with it, again, go to either my front page on YouTube, home, and click playlists, created playlists, and look for oral reading fluency, or visit my website English with Jennifer and click on the drop down menu for YouTube videos, and you'll see all my playlists organized. Okay, on Patreon, by the way, if you have a creative streak in terms of writing, join, because high, intermediate, and advanced students often get writing practice, and we've done some creative writing as well. Okay. Can you write for us? I like writing. Perhaps if you like stories like this, perhaps I can write more for you in 2022. I just need to know that's what you guys like. If you like short stories, it would inspire me to write more if my stories become popular. I like stories. Okay. Pardon my French. Why? Pardon you. You didn't say anything bad. Christmas was different because of COVID. A nice short sentence, concise and accurate, Toda. I like that. Does anyone else want to share opinion? Store-bought or handmade? I do think when someone takes the time, that's nice. But if someone carefully shops for you and they don't just buy some like random vase or a candle, and they know you, and they know something about you, and that knowledge shows that they took the time to really think about what would make you smile, make you happy, what would be practical, something to help you or to ease stress, whatever, then it doesn't mean that the store-bought gift or just a bought gift is less meaningful if they've really put the thought into it. And it's not about the price tag, right? There could be a truly special $5 gift that shows the person was thinking about you versus the expensive, I don't know, a few $100 diamond necklace or something. That is pretty, but I personally would feel uncomfortable if somebody spent $500 on a necklace for me. It's just, that's not me, and it would just mean the person doesn't know me very well, because I don't want a $500 necklace. There are other things I'd want you to do with that $500, right? So, yeah. Benjamin, you wrote, Christmas was different because of COVID-19. Yes, good punctuation too. I appreciate your nicely punctuated sentence, Benjamin. Well, I do go live. I go live regularly on Patreon. So if you like live streams and you want the guarantee, then Patreon is the place to be. I give one exclusive YouTube live stream for review and Q&A. That's the chance when people send in their questions in advance, if they have them, and I take the time to answer. I also prepare exercises, tasks based on the questions coming in from my Patreon members. And then we have at least one Zoom session each month. I try to offer more as my time allows, but Zoom is a wonderful opportunity because you're not just listening to me. The cameras and microphones are on. We have small group classes, and we get interaction with each other. It's been a wonderful experience. A special thank you to all my Patreon members who are here, because it's been a wonderful first year on Patreon, and I'm looking forward to continuing in 2022. Thank you also to my YouTube members. I see you with your badges here, a few of you. And if you're not a member, please consider clicking on that join button. It's the easiest, least expensive option that I can offer you. For $1 a month, I'm giving you 2 written practice tasks a week. So that's about 8 tasks or more a month for only $1. Okay, so if you want to keep up and review grammar and vocabulary, some writing skills on occasion, like punctuation or how we put sentences together, then that little bit of regular practice 2 times a week can help you maintain your skills and build your skills. So that's the best bang for your buck. There's a good expression, bang for your buck. If you really want to talk about getting value for $1, I try hard to give you that value as a YouTube member. Okay? All right, but the interaction, that's on Patreon. Actually, COVID became a closed down business, no money, children don't understand. Their parents made up the ideas. Yeah, well, it was the mother's idea, right, Manuel? Here's another task I recommend, whether it's a story, a news article, a video on YouTube. When this ends and it's quiet, I'm done talking, say or write a summary of the story. It's kind of hard because it was fragmented. I didn't read it straight through, but it's also good for your memory. Can you recall the story and retell it in just a few sentences? What was it about? There's a boy or a teenager named Ben. And all the other Christmases, things were happy and normal. But then, because of COVID, life changed in the family, and things were especially different at Christmas time. The family didn't have a lot of money, so the mother suggested that they all make gifts for each other. So Christmas morning came, and it was different, but it turned out to be very special. Boom, end of story. That's basically what it was, right? Okay. Bye, Kenan. Thanks for being here. Eddie, a handmade gift is better because it shows your own effort and also what comes from inside your heart. Yes, yes. Handmade, you can check any of the dictionaries. I'm tempted to write it either as one word or hyphenated. That's when you check the dictionary. I think it's without the hyphen. Someone can check it now if you want. Handmade, I'd put definitely either as one word or hyphenated. Because it shows. Now, here's something that we talked about yesterday at the Patreon live stream, parallel structure. Parallel structure. When you have 2 or more ideas joined together with a conjunction, we need to make sure that those 2 items or that all the items in a list are equal grammatically. A and B, C or D. The A and B, C or D have to be equal in terms of all nouns, all verbs, all participles, what. So let's take Manuel's sentence because it's a good one. Let me come back. There we go. Their parents made up with the idea. Oh no, Eddie. Eddie, I'm sorry, mixed up the names. Because it shows what? It shows this and that. So the first one you have a noun phrase, your own effort. And then the second one you have a clause, what comes from inside your heart. So you have to decide 2 noun phrases or 2 noun clauses. It shows, how about it shows how much effort you're willing to invest and what is truly in your heart. It's just a variation, but you see that could be an example of creating parallel structure. Now I have how much and what, 2 noun clauses, 2 embedded questions, and they're equal grammatically. Okay? Thank you for confirming, Eddie. Handmade. Christmas is different because there's too much inflation. Yes, oh, it is different, isn't it? Things are expensive now. Very expensive. There are also shipping delays, delivery delays. So we're still in 2021 experiencing the impact of COVID. When I wrote the story, I was thinking more about 2020. But hopefully that imaginary family is doing better in 2021. The cafe, hopefully, I imagine, is open again, maybe with restrictions. Maybe business is slowly coming back to normal. So that's another fun task that you can do, is to imagine if that story took place in 2020, what do you think is happening for this family in 2021? And what will they do in 2022? Okay? What am I streaming? Well, I'm using OBS software. Is that what you're meaning? Okay. Christmas is different because of inflation all over the world. And look, Marco Polo, you need to write because of, right? There's a difference between because and because of. Because starts a new clause. Because means you need a subject and a verb. Like because there is inflation. But when you use because of, then you need an object, which could be a noun or a pronoun, anything that behaves like a noun, because of inflation, because of worldwide inflation. So be careful of the difference, because and because of. hmm Is Yvonne here? Welcome, Yvonne. I didn't notice you earlier if you're not here, or you are here. Hello, hello. What's another word for variation? If we're writing, then we're paraphrasing, which is another task we did on Patreon at our live stream yesterday. We paraphrased sentences, which is a very useful skill. Handmade, machine made. Yes, they could contrast with each other, right? Yes. Okay. Choice selection. Thanks, Ray. All possibilities. Princess, take care. Okay. All right, guys, we are definitely over an hour. You got an hour plus like almost 15 minutes here. So what I'm going to do is end. And again, YouTube members, check the community tab. I'll come up with a bonus follow-up task for you that's related to the story. And Patreon members, check posts later today when you have time, and I will be sharing with you. I'll upload the actual copy of my story. I would encourage you to read it again straight through. You heard me read it, you can read it. Read it silently. Okay, print it out, or get a copy on your computer. Highlight new words, keywords. Keep a running list of new words and expressions, and review them. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to wind down. I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas if you're celebrating the holiday. If you're not, I wish you just the joy of the season. It's a beautiful season, a season of giving, a season of appreciation, a season of hope. May we all have hope for the new year, that things will get better and better. I wish you all good health. Continued health as we move into the new year, as we continue to fight this worldwide pandemic. That was kind of redundant, but you know what I mean. It's a pandemic that has been around. We're not sure when it's going away, but let's hold on to our optimism and our strength and move into 2022 with all the best in mind and in our hearts. And I wish you all a wonderful new year. I may not be sharing a video next week or going live, because I plan to reduce my work time a bit and spend a little more time with my family, and just sleep a little more and relax a little more, get my energy for January. Okay, so you take care. Thank you for being here. Thank you again for the gifts, the gifts that were sent, the what were they, super chats? That's what we call them. Thank you so much. That was a surprise and that was special. Thank you very much for that support. Okay. All right, Saroj, Benjamin, Fernando, is it Hai, Anwat, Marco Polo, Mike Perfect, Dulce? Merry Christmas to you all. Merry Christmas to you all. Thanks. I love the stickers that I'm seeing too. Okay. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and please come back for more. Let's study together in 2022. It's going to be a great year for us.